All right. Okay, so this Zoom tonight is going to be like filled with so much love, so much tough love, so much manifesting and just good vibes only. Okay, so how this started, and we've got quite a few leaders speaking tonight. I'm really excited about it. How this started is we listened to a podcast. A lot of you probably have already listened to it because I've been blasting it through the roof because it was so amazing, but it was by Pam Souter and actually her daughter, Kay Dixon. It wasn't Kay that was on the podcast, but it was Kay's business coach, like her life coach. I don't know if you guys knew that. And so Pam was interviewing her, and oh my gosh, you guys, it was all about manifesting the life that you want. And it really woke me up and started to light a fire. And so we're going to talk about it more in depth tonight, kind of share a little bit of our stories so that you guys know we're just regular people, out here getting discouraged sometimes, getting fired up sometimes, having bad days sometimes, having great days sometimes. So if you do not know me, I am Rochelle Coakley. I am all of your, on this Zoom, this is in my team page, so I am all of your presidential uplines. Yes, Lisette, we are recording. And so I just wanted to introduce myself, and we have Kaitlin speaking tonight. We have Shawna speaking tonight. We have Shalina speaking tonight. And also we have Sydney speaking tonight, who I'm so excited about. I have to brag for just 1 second. Normally I do diamonds and above on leadership, or not leadership Zooms, on our Zooms, right? And Sydney is a Ruby, and she has diamond leadership qualities, you guys. And so she asked me tonight, I know I'm putting you on blast, girlfriend, but it's all good news. So she asked me tonight, she's like, why did you ask me? Like, I'm a Ruby. And I'm like, because listen, on this team, we don't care about ranks. We don't care about ranks. We care about your leadership. We care about you showing up. We care about you wanting to do this and your constant, like, just grit through this business. And you have so much to offer, girlfriend. So I'm so excited. Okay. Without further ado, let me get to my notes here. So I want to kick us off with playing like a really short clip. I got to take these out real quick. Of this. Sorry, I totally wasn't prepared. Turn Bluetooth off. Here we go. I want to play a really short clip of this so that you guys kind of, if you haven't heard it, you hear it and you're like, okay, now I know what we're talking about here. Let me turn this up. Give me 1 second. Let me know if you can't hear it.
When you say that money is energy, everything is energy. Your energy, the hat that you have on is energy. So money is energy. What do you mean by that?
So you can't get rid of energy. I always tell people that you create based on emotion, right? The feeling. That's energy in motion. So you can't really get rid of it. And so for me, I always say money is like a boomerang. You toss it, it comes right back to you. And so that's how you have to look at it. The universe doesn't care whether you're trying to manifest a parking place, a parking space, or $20 million. It doesn't matter. It's going to take the same level of energy for those things to manifest from the universe. And it's going to take the same level of energy from you, whether you're trying to, create a $10,000 a month empire to a $10 million a month empire. It may not make sense to you, but truly it takes the same level of energy, the same amount of you to physically show up, mentally and emotionally show up. So be very specific about what it is that you desire and not so much on how you're going to get there.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. That was probably my favorite part of the entire Zoom. And ladies, if you want to talk about this too, I'm totally cool with it. Cause I know each of us have like different things that like were ahas for us, but like this one really stuck out to me. I think the biggest thing is that we get so caught up in the how. We get so caught up in like, well, I want to be here. Maybe it's that you want to be a diamond leader or you want to be making $2,000 a month, but like how am I going to do that? How am I going to make that happen? I've got to work more. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. All this stuff. And we get so caught up in how we're going to do it. And then we don't actually do it, right? Like we don't actually, hold on. Sorry, I'm getting distracted while I put these back in. Then we don't actually do it because we're sitting here trying to figure out like all the how instead of just taking the action and believing. Okay, this is the number one thing. Believing that it doesn't matter how we get there, but that we're going to get there. Okay. And that comes with some massive growth, y'all. That comes with like up here, like strong stability up here. And if you just started, you might be sitting here like, listen, I heard her say like 10 million a month. Like, I'm just looking for like 500 a month. Okay. Like, can I just start there? Yes, you can, because $500 a month was what I started for. Okay. $500 a month is normally what everybody starts for. That is huge. That is something to manifest. That is something to think about every single day and create in your head that it doesn't matter how you're going to get there. I had no idea how I was going to make that $500 a month to pay my credit cards. I had no idea. I didn't even have the $99 to get started. But what I did know was that I knew that I had grit, and I knew that I had no other choice. I knew that. I knew that I could either continue living my life the way that I was living it, or I could make a change, get uncomfortable, and figure it out on my way. And I did. And all of you ladies sitting on here tonight is because I said yes. I don't mean that sounded so bad. What I mean is like one person said yes to this. You know what I'm saying? One person said yes. And that trickled down to all of you ladies sitting here tonight, manifesting with me on a Zoom. So, the other thing that I wanted to address that she said, I want to get back to my notes so that I don't get way off track because we have some other amazing speakers tonight, is that money is energy. Money is just an energy that you create. Okay, so it's something that will constantly flow back to you like a boomerang, she said, right? As long as you're consciously manifesting it. Okay, so again, I don't want to take any of your other girls. The last thing or your other thoughts, girls, the last thing that I want to say is, for me, I think what happened for so long, the reason why I stayed stagnant for so long was because I was stuck in this scarcity mindset. Okay, this scarcity mindset of like, well, I could never afford that, or I could never do that. But I was manifesting, right? I was manifesting that into existence. What I was saying is like, I can't afford that. So the universe was like, oh yeah, you can't afford that. It's giving you whatever you're thinking about constantly. So if you're thinking about an abundant life, and you're thinking about wanting to travel the country, or you're thinking about wanting to quit your job and stay home with your babies, whatever you're thinking about every single day, if you believe that it can happen, it will happen. So also, I wanted to back up really quickly about manifesting, because it's something that I did not know what it was. Okay, so I want to like explain it to you guys so that you understand. Manifesting is positive energy, vibrations, positive affirmations, writing it down, journaling, believing that you already have what it is. One of the examples in this podcast that Pam was talking about was that, okay, so Pam drives a Bentley. How many, drop a one in the chats if you want a Bentley someday. Like, okay, crazy. My nephew was named after a Bentley. Is Kelsey in the house? Where's my sister-in-law? Um, so she wanted a Bentley, right? She has a Bentley. And before she got it, she went to the dealerships. She would sit in the car. She would feel the leather. She would kick the tire. She would sit there and envision and imagine what her life would be like when she had that Bentley. Can you guys even imagine that? I'm like, can I just get in like a Suburban and pay for cash for one? Like, like you know what I mean? Like, she wanted this Bentley, and she was gonna stop at nothing. Lick the leather. That's what she said. I'm gonna lick the leather. Go in and lick the leather. It's a metaphor to you guys. Like, whatever you want. If you want to build your own house someday, envision it, draw it, go look at builders, like go talk with a builder about this house, see what it's going to take, and start to imagine it and envision it. Because when you do this, you guys, it will be handed to you. I can give you countless stories, but we would be here all night, of when people have manifested things into their lives and it's just happened. But the one thing, and I'll be completely done, is that she said when she drove that Bentley away, she'd never been more thankful for anything in her whole life. And it sounds silly because it's like a car, right? But she had dreamed it. She had touched it. She had felt it. She had literally etched every stitch of leather in her mind, so that when she pulled that off the lot, she knew that she worked for every bit of that car. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? And so that right there is enough to just journal every day and give yourself those affirmations of like, I am a good leader. I am Ambassador Diamond. You're talking about it as if you're already there, right? You guys see what I'm saying? Okay, so Shawna, you up, girlfriend, unmute yourself. I'm so excited to hear you speak tonight.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks for having me on, Rochelle. So I'm Shawna Friesen. I'm a diamond leader. I've been working this business since about February, so not too much longer than probably a lot of you guys on this call. So I had a couple of things. I just wanted to first kind of share a couple of my experiences, my success stories of manifestation. So evidently I've been practicing this for a long time and I didn't even know it. Like, one of the things that like I've always thought was really strange was I always get really good parking. Okay. Like, I'll pull into the mall or into Costco and I'm like, I'm going to go straight to the front because I know there's a spot there waiting for me. And I mean, that's like the smallest, silliest thing, but that's what Rochelle's talking about, is just having that belief, that confidence, and knowing that you're going to walk into a situation and that's just what it's going to be because you said so, because that's what it is. Another time that I got to practice manifestation is when I started buying a house. So Andrew and I have been working on buying a house for a really long time. We're, in our house for our second year now. But when we quote unquote started this process, like, we both had horrible credit. Like, my credit was probably around the 400s and I probably had $50 in my bank account. But I was telling everybody, we're buying a house. And I let everybody know we're buying a house. I had no idea how I was going to do it, how I was going to save, how the heck, I didn't even know how to build credit at that point, much less how I was going to get it up high enough to buy a house. But I told so many people, I'm going to buy this house, and it took a long time and a lot of work, but I did it. And that's part of that manifestation, is because when things got tough, I had that belief behind me to back up and keep pushing me when I didn't see my credit score climb, when I didn't see my bank account. Every time I'd save a little bit, something else came up, and I just kept manifesting that money in my way. You guys, money came to me in some weird freaking ways in that time frame, but I was so enthralled in my belief that that's what was going to happen. Things just came my way. I was able to pay things off, get my credit up, and that's kind of my success story. But y'all, I started out by saying I've been practicing manifestation. Okay, this isn't something that I'm really, really good at. Okay, Rochelle didn't invite me on here because I'm really good at manifesting. I just practice it every single day, and that is what keeps me working this business when things get really tough. So you got to practice every day, just like you would if you're going to the gym, or you want to be a runner, or you want to have good mindset. Those are things you have to practice every single day. So I have just 2 tips, a couple things that Rochelle kind of touched on, but I have 2 tips, what I do that keeps me fueled every day, along with a strong personal development mindset. I believe that these things go really hand in hand. They're different, but they go hand in hand. So tip number 1 is write down your affirmations and read them and believe them daily. So I'm in my bedroom right now. I'm sitting on my bed. Directly to my right on my wall is a whiteboard that's like, I don't know, 2.5, 3 feet tall. And I've got different affirmations written on there. And they change, sometimes daily, sometimes weekly, sometimes monthly. It's really just where I'm at in my season and in my business, and what I need to hear. And I could be chasing the same goals as somebody else on this call, but those affirmations are always going to be different. Those specific goals are always going to be different. So I always have them, whatever I need, and I read them every morning. First thing I do, I sit up and I read my affirmations. At night, before I go to bed, I read those affirmations, and I'll change them up or whatever, but that's always the first and the last thing I read until I fully believe it and I'm ready for something different or something more. And that's also going on with your goals. So you're manifesting these big dreams, and maybe that's double diamond or triple diamond or presidential diamond, and those are great things to be manifesting into your existence. But don't forget to get excited about those little things too. If you just started and you haven't got those 4 customers yet, get excited about that. Those are the things that you want to be. My next 4 customers, I'm getting them today. They're going to be coming to me this week. I'm working for this company and we've got amazing products, and I am so good at what I do, and people are going to want what I have. because I know what I have is something that they need. Okay. And having that belief in yourself and in your products and in your abilities, even if you just started, you can have those are not a skill, you guys. That's just belief, and knowing that you jumped into this company at the right time for you, and you are going to do amazing in this business because you believe it and we believe in you too. The second thing is do things that make you feel abundant. Okay, so Rochelle kind of touched on this with going to test drive a car. Okay, that's a glamorous thing, and frankly, that terrifies me to go test drive a vehicle, so that's not on my list of things to go do. But you guys, it can be simple things like next time you're at Fred Meyer, you know, getting groceries for your kids, maybe shop the organics aisle and be like, man, wouldn't it be nice to be able to feed my family these kind of foods with these kind of ingredients? And picture yourself putting those foods in your cart. Picture yourself going through the checkout line and putting those in your pantry and serving those foods for your family for dinner. Like, how fulfilling is that? Like, that's a little thing, but just sit there in that grocery aisle for 2 seconds and just feel that emotion of how gratifying that would be. That's a little thing, you guys, and anybody can achieve that. If you're a shoe person and you really like nice shoes, go try on those nice shoes. And same thing, think of yourself handing them your It Works credit card, your It Works pay card, and walking out of the store in those brand new shoes. How does that make you feel? Okay. Think about the emotional impact having the ability to say yes to these things has. When I pay my credit card bills, like, I'll make the minimum payment, whatever, $50, whatever it is. But I take a second and I look at that balance and I picture how good it's going to feel the day I get to put in that full amount and press submit and wipe my hands clean of that credit card. Okay. That's some big stuff. Okay. I cry sometimes when I think about the impact that is going to have on my life. 1 bill, 2 bill, 3 bill, wiping my whole debt. Okay. Those are the things you have to think of. Those are the things that fuel me every single day and really keep me going. And then the last thing about doing things that make you feel abundant is talk to your spouse, talk to your significant other, and dream. But dream specifically. Okay, that's something that my husband and I do. We probably do this once a week where we'll sit down and we'll go on Redfin, we'll find our perfect house, and we'll talk about what we're going to do with this land, what we're going to do with this bedroom. And, you know, we live in the city. We live in a small house in Gresham, but we've got 6 chickens in the backyard because someday we want to farm. And those chickens are out there reminding us every single day how someday we're going to have a farm. It's the silliest thing, you guys, but you have to be a little silly with it, and dream those things and get your spouse in on those dreams and talk about those dreams and bring them to life. We found this stellar house on Redfin out in Boring, Oregon, if anybody knows where that's at. I literally looked like a creeper, but I drove to that house and I sat in that driveway and I pictured my kids running around that yard. I pictured my husband's woodworking shop over on that back lot. I pictured where our cows are going to go, where our chickens are going to go, where our goats are going to go. And those are the things that drive me. I think I'm up on my time, but those are just a couple of tips that I wanted to share. So just keep dreaming, keep believing, and find something that fuels your fire, because that's what's going to keep you going every single day.
Okay, so newsflash, if you guys need a fire fueled, Shawna needs to do all of our Zooms because I'm freaking crying right now. Holy cow. You just told me that I need to step up my game. I thought I had the manifesting game down. Nope, not even close. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and your stories and your real stories. It's so funny because when I hear Pam talk about a Bentley, I'm oh, in the back of our minds, right? We're oh yeah, someday a Bentley. But like you said, a car isn't something that you want to manifest. That's not something that's gonna have an emotional attachment to you. But organic groceries and watching your kids, I can't get it together. Watching your kids play, in a house that you're manifesting, that is what people need to hear. And I am so proud of you. Holy cow. Okay. All right, moving on. That was amazing. Let me check my notes here. Kaitlin, you are next. Caitlin's like, how am I supposed to follow this? Like, how am I supposed to follow this right now? Kaitlin, you are just as amazing. So I want to hear a little bit about your story though, really quickly, because there are a lot of people on here that I want people to know that, you know, your success right now is that you're a double diamond leader and that you got there very, very quickly, back to back diamond and double. But there's some things that people don't know about that success story. So introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. So I totally lost track of everything I was going to say after listening to Shawna, but can you guys all hear me? Yeah. Okay. So a little bit about myself. I'm Kaitlin Reeves. I am one of the double diamond leaders. And when I actually went to look back to see when I originally started this business, because when I first started back in 2017 is what I looked. It was actually in May of 2017. And I actually didn't join under Rochelle personally. I joined under somebody that is no longer in this business. So my upline is not working this business anymore. And she had asked me multiple times to join her, and I kept telling her no or ignoring her. And then I finally decided to give it a shot in May. And I went Ruby, and then I stayed at Ruby for a little bit, but I was like, okay, this isn't the $500 a month that everyone said. And I ended up quitting because I was like, you know, this just isn't for me right now. And I was a nurse at the time, and just my mind wasn't in this business. So I took a 6-month break, and then I had Quinn, and I was like, okay. I continued to watch Rochelle's story, and I was like, okay, she's doing amazing in this. If I just put in the work and I commit, I could do this too. So I reached out to her after I had Quinn, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to jump back in. I knew I wanted to take a 4-month maternity leave, but I actually only had 2 months paid. So I was taking 2 months unpaid, but I knew that this business could help me, and that was my why. I wanted to be able to stay home with Quinn longer, and I jumped in it full force. And I ended up, I tried to look it up, but I ended up going diamond, and like I went from ruby to diamond. So I skipped emerald, and that was within like 6 months. And I went back to back diamond to double. And Justin was actually my diamond. So we double promoted, and that was a huge raise. Like,
And you
we
guys
were making
earned
good
like
money really fast.
$35,000 in bonuses, right? It was like $35,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And
I love
so
your story. No,
the
keep
thing
going.
about this podcast that it was actually at the beginning, and it talked about I'm looking at my notes so I don't lose my train of thought, but it had talked about starting making good money fast. And in this business, we all know you can do that. And I got like thousands of dollar raises back to back months, and I work as a nurse, so I make really good money, but I never would have seen that as a nurse. So I was like, wow, we just got a lot of money really fast, and we felt like we were on top of the world, as anyone else would. So the thing about getting a lot of money quickly is you need to be smart with that money when you get it. And of course, we all just want to do fun things with the money, but then you can take a hit. And that's what I want to talk about. I don't want to scare any of you guys, but there's going to be months where you could drop rank. And we did that a couple of months in. And I need to look at my notes so I don't lose train of thought again. But when you lose rank, it's really easy to just look at your downline and point your fingers and just blame. This person's not working, or this leg didn't get their rank back. And the main thing is you need to take control of that, and you need to figure out what you're going to do to either get that rank back or to move forward when these things happen, because they're going to happen to everybody. Everyone's going to have a leg that's going to die off.
everyone's going to have somebody that loses their rank, and we need to figure out what we're going to do. And instead of easily just pointing fingers, we need to just take on ownership and take control of our team and our legs and figure out who's actually working, and instead run with them. And another thing that I really liked was that they said, when no one's working on your downline, grow your business. And that's a huge thing, because that goes back to it's just really easy to point fingers at who's not working. But instead of wasting the time to figure out who's not working and complaining about, oh, this person stopped working or this person isn't signing anymore, just grow your business and grow in those areas, because you're going to move forward so much faster if you just continue growing rather than wasting time trying to build those dead legs. And those were things that really hit me, because that all happened to me. And instead of just taking ownership, I was trying to figure out like who wasn't working and who stopped working and whose volume's dropping, instead of just continuing to grow my business and just building those dead legs and working with the people that are actually really wanting to work.
I love that so much. And I seriously love it when you share your story, because when you learn through things, you guys, like that was a hard thing for Kaitlin to share. Like that's never like easy to be like, oh, we lost rank, because really it comes down to like all of you don't really know like why we lost rank or how we lost rank. It could have been us. It could have been somebody went to another company. It could have been like all these things. But like Kaitlin said, when you take ownership of that, and when you decide like these things are going to happen, those are just trials and tribulations, you guys. You're never going to have a business. You can go open up a boutique right now on the side of the road, and you might have to shut your doors 2 months later. Do you see what I'm saying? Like there's always going to be like issues that come up. There's always going to be those trials and tribulations, but the way that you decide to move forward is actually the way that your team's going to decide to move forward too. Do you know what I mean? So when you show up for them and you take that ownership, now what you're doing is showing them that when they go through those things, you've already been through them. So you can help them with those things. Like, listen, girl, I've been there. I have been there, because I've been there 3, 4, 5 times. And you know what happened when that happened to Kaitlin and so many others on this team? They come to me and they say, Rochelle, what happened when you've been here? Or what am I talking about? What happened when you were here? Or did you ever go through this? You see what I'm saying? And I can say, yes, I did. And here's what I did. And I think the most important part about Kaitlin's story was that she was open to growth. Okay, this series that we're doing, this growth series, is all about growing. It's all about being open enough to grow, you guys. We can't make more money. We can't rank up. We can't become the best version of ourselves without growth. And I feel like it's something that's not talked about enough. It's not talked about enough, because literally, I can sit here and tell you all day long, because other people used to tell me this, that if you would just grow your mind, or if you would just do your personal development, or if you would just believe in yourself, you would be so much further. And I was like, blah, 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 load of crap. You're telling me, somebody who knows how to work, somebody who will stay up until flipping 2 a.m. working her business. I will work until the sun comes up, because I am dedicated and I can work all day long. Nobody can outwork me, right? But here's the thing, you're going to work yourself into the ground. You're going to work yourself into the ground. And if you're not open to receiving growth, then when you get it, this is my favorite thing, and then we're going to move on. This is my favorite thing that I heard from a sermon on Sunday. I got the opportunity to go to church with Shelby, and the sermon was talking about, well, there was a crap ton of things that it was talking about. Hold on. Let me mute real quick, everybody, because I feel like I hear things happening. 1 second, guys. Okay. Shoot, and I just lost my train of thought. Something about Sunday. What was I talking about before Sunday?
You were at church with Shelby. That's all I remember. Sorry.
I know. Shoot, we might just have to move on.
The sermon that was talked about, the sermon that you heard.
I know, and I'm trying to think of what it was that he said. Shoot, I always lose my train of thought just like that. If I remember it, growth. I was talking about growth. I'll remember it. Let's move on for now. Don't let me forget. I'll remember, I promise. I always do. Like, as soon as I have you start talking, I'm going to cut you off and be like, I remember. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Sydney, our Miss Ruby, who is like diamond and beyond.
Okay.
You're next, Mama. Let's hear your aha moments and introduce yourself and tell us when you started.
Hi, I'm Sydney Buckman. I'm a Ruby. I've been in this business for just over a year. My aha, I'm going to start with that. I'm so nervous. My hands are sweaty, and I don't get like this ever. Okay, you're putting me in this position, and I'm thankful for it. I'm really
so
thankful
proud of
for
you.
it. That is what growth is. Take a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Getting uncomfortable. You're okay, girl. You got this.
Okay, so my aha was, whatever you're doing, the universe, whatever you're thinking, the universe is going to take that and give you what you want, whether it's good or bad. So if I'm focusing on this fear constantly, I'm not going to do what I'm doing and talk to you guys. And within the business that I started, and I didn't believe in myself, I kind of just took a jump and thought, well, this is just too good to be true, and I never did anything. And it took about 6 months for me to like bounce into manifestation and growing. I haven't picked up a book in years. I've been graduated since 2013 and not once picked up a book. How much personal like belief and all the fear and anxieties, I don't feel those things because I grow my mind. And for that reason, I can help my children grow the way that I want them to. I'm going to cry. But another thing is be intentional about what you're doing, because the person that you're talking to isn't going to buy you unless you buy yourself. Be intentional about what you're doing every day. Oh, gotta find a charger. Hold on. Oh, no. Where is it? But anyways, can you talk for a second so I can have a charger?
Yes, I got you.
Shoot.
You're fine. Oh my goodness, you're so cute. Okay, so I was talking about working myself into the ground. I still don't remember what I was going to say, but basically, if you're not like growing your mind, then you can work all day long. But if you don't have that belief, in yourself, then you're not going to be able to grow. And so I started telling you guys that like people would just tell me that I have to believe in myself, right? And I just thought that like, no, like I can just outwork anybody and it will be fine. But that is so small-minded. That's a scarcity mindset. Okay, we want an abundant mindset. We want to be able to continually be open to growing every single day, because we can't receive abundance unless we're open to it. And so I think that's the most like important thing. I still don't remember about church. That kind of bums me out. But if I remember, I'll share it in the team page because I'm sure it was really good. Sid, did you find a charger?
Okay.
Did
yes,
you find
I
one?
did.
Okay, perfect. What was your other
I
aha?
did. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh my goodness. Also today, I told somebody, and this is something that I found out, through self-development, but confidence isn't a personality, it's a skill. So you really need to, teach yourself how to get there and how to get that confidence. And what was another thing? And talk about the things that you dream and that you want to succeed in as if you've already done that. So make that, bring that out into the world. Know that you want to, say, buy that car or buy a house. I was stuck somewhere that I didn't want to be for a long time, and I never thought, oh, well, let's just grow my mind and I can, get that new place. And I did that for a while. It takes time, and for you to actually be intentional and believe that, and you can actually get what you want. I swear to you, manifestation thoughts are things that is beyond so true. And you have to really act on that and believe in yourself. I know we just throw that around freely, but that is true. Believing in yourself is a very serious thing.
Oh yeah. And I think
I totally.
you're good. You did amazing. I want to capitalize on that really quickly too, because I think that sorry, I'm going to mute again real quick. So I think that when we get scared about like, well, how do I believe in myself? Like, you know, your past has a lot to do with it, you guys. But, you know, how you were brought up, how you view money, how you were taught to live. If you were taught to live in a scarcity mindset or an abundant mindset or whatever, like a lot of that plays a part in it, right? And so I think it's really important for us to understand that there might be some undoing of our past that we have to do. There might be some, you know, fires that need to start to burn away those things in the past so that you can create this pathway. And the only way that you can believe in yourself and the only way that you could start to do this manifestation is by you completely letting go of everything that you know and diving into growth. And sometimes it's kind of scary. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Sometimes, like just the other day, I started listening to a book and something that was said in that book hit me in the gut so bad that I literally wanted to fall to my knees. I'm not being dramatic. Like, I literally wanted to fall them. It was just like, boom, like, what have you, like, wake up, Rochelle, wake up. And I just started sobbing on my run, in the middle of my run, because I was like, everything that this book just said, in the perfect timing of everything, I heard it. And I heard the universe, I heard God speak to me and say what I needed to do in my business and right now. And a part of that is this growth series. A part of that is talking to you guys about how to get your mind right and how to make sure that we're constantly growing. Because you guys, there are days where you're going to have bad days. There are days where you're not going to want to manifest. There are days where if you're just like, you know, you have to get yourself in a good mood. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to figure out how to get yourself out of that. Let yourself feel it. If something bad happens and you're upset, maybe somebody's in the hospital or whatever, that doesn't mean that you need to be like, oh, all chipper and, hey, I got to manifest real quick. So like, so-and-so's in the hospital. So I'm just going to like, get me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not just going to get out of that. Okay. You have to let yourself feel it. Give yourself, you know, Brian gives me like 5 minutes. Okay, like, I don't know if you guys have like a mentor or a partner or a best friend or whatever, like, that you can vent to. Brian's like, you got 5 more minutes. And if you're not over it, like, we're going to have a talk. Like, you just need to get it out and be done with it. Like, so whatever you guys need to do, just make sure that you get it out, you have your little vent sesh, and then you move on. And then you do something that gets you in a good mood. For me, if I can go on a run, if I can't go on a run, it's worship music, man. And I will blast it. I'll be like, can I take a 15-minute drive? Can you watch Hunt? Like, I gotta go clear my head. And I'm not even kidding you. When I get behind the wheel and I listen to some worship music and I can throw one of my hands up and just be like, oh, this is exactly what I needed. Then I come back and I'm like, I'm motivated to do all the things. I'm going to write out all my goals. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like Shawna was saying, it's not perfect every day. You're not going to be amazing at it. And you may even miss a couple days, but when you practice this daily and when you set the things in motion, like Shawna has her board. So like, she can't not see that every morning. You know what I mean? She's not going to wake up and be like, I really don't want to look at my goals today. Like, it's right there. It's right there. She's going to look at them. And then that's going to set the pace for like, okay, yeah, like, I'm up, I may be tired, but like, that's what I'm working for. You know what I'm saying? And just like Pam said, when she drove her Bentley off the lot, it was so much more meaningful to her because she knows how many years she was waiting for that. Okay. So you guys better be excited for this. Drop a 2 in the chat if you want to hear some like fire preaching right now. Shalina, mama, you are up next. I want to hear you preach it. Let me hear that passion.
Hi guys, my name is Shalina. I'm a double diamond leader on the team. I've been with the business for about 1.5 years now. And let me tell you something, what we're about to talk about is something that I have been like so passionate about. I have like this fire in my belly about this because for the longest time, I feel like manifesting is something that, like, I was just talking to Kyle about this earlier today too, so it's kind of like a coincidence that we're like talking about it now. But I just want to start out with like a lot of the people that you guys see that are super successful in all of their businesses, all the millionaires that you see on the podcast that you listen to, a lot of them will talk about how they they focus on growth mostly. They focus on growing their mind, and they do it every single day. So when we tell you that self-development is important, trust me, I used to be someone that, like, Rochelle would, like, go down my throat and be like, what books did you read this month? And I'd be like, come on, woman, like, but seriously, guys, like, once you really get into it, and once you really find a book that really resonates with how you feel in that moment, you are going to change your business, and you're going to change your life. So, manifesting. I started out in this business, and I remember I've seen people, like, post about being a networks distributor. I've seen people post about doing any other MLM or online business like this, and I always said I will never be that person. Okay. And the reason why is because every single person that I've seen has not been successful, other than the person that I joined with, of course. And I always thought, okay, if they can't do it, then why would I be able to do it? Why would I be able to be the person that would be successful with this? And it took me months to even jump into this and just get the nerve to actually put myself out there, because I used to not be an out there person. I used to really shelter myself. So putting myself out there in front of social media, in front of people that I barely even knew, like, really just, like, made me so scared. So I manifested in that moment, and I told myself, I'm going to do this business, and I'm not going to quit. I'm going to succeed, because I do not want to embarrass myself in front of all of the people that I know. Because, I mean, even, like, having people that don't support you is, like, one thing, but it's, sorry, I'm reading the comment. I get so distracted, guys. I'm so sorry. But, like, having people that, like, did not support me in this business and still don't, I wanted to prove them wrong. So that is how I manifested into this business. And then I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and that happened. And it all kind of just fell into place, because I told myself, there's no way I'm going to let my kid go to daycare. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, and it's going to happen. And it did. But like I said, I was talking to Kyle earlier today about this, and I was telling him, like, because he like doesn't believe in this stuff either. So I'm always, like, preaching down his throat about this manifesting and all of this self-growth, and he's getting better. But one thing about this business is manifesting, yes, but you also have to, like, as you're manifesting, you have to keep going with it. You have to keep going. You have to go. You cannot stop. Even if it gets hard, you cannot stop. And that is all about manifesting. You have to keep telling yourself that you're going to do it. You have to keep telling yourself that you can do it, that you're capable, and that you're worthy. And I feel like one thing that a lot of us do is, once we reach our goals, we don't know where to go anymore. So for me, like, my first goal was to replace my full-time income. Once I did that, I did not know where I wanted to go. And I feel like I got super stuck. And the reason why, after praying, it was because I don't know if I was worthy. I didn't know if I was selfish for asking for more or for wanting more. And it took me so long to realize that it wasn't just about me. It was about the people below me. It was about the people that I was signing onto this team, people that wanted to be stay-at-home moms just like I had, people that needed to bring home an extra $500 a month, people that needed to stop going to a job that they hated every single day because they're crying in the stalls at work like I used to, okay? So once I started making this not about myself, I really started to know where this business was taking me. And I remember it was like a couple weeks ago, I sat down and I asked God, I said, please tell me, where is this business supposed to take me? Where do you want this business to take me? Because I know that I've been asking him to take me certain places, and maybe those places that I've been asking aren't where I'm supposed to go. So here I am, praying to God, asking him to take me where he wants me to go. What path did he pay for me? And so that kind of opened up my thoughts. But when you manifest, like I said, you have to work towards what you're manifesting. If you have a garden, you have to believe that this garden is going to grow. Am I right? You're not going to be watering a garden that you don't believe is going to grow. That would be a waste of your time. So you have to believe that your business is going to grow. Otherwise, you're not going to be consistent with it. You're not going to work your business. You're not going to plant the seeds. You're not going to water it. You're not going to give it the sunshine. You're not going to give it the soil. You have to do all of these things that are going to just make your garden beautiful. And that is how you're going to grow your business. You have to fully manifest. You have to fully believe that it's going to grow in the most beautiful way. And all of those little flowers, they're going to bloom so beautiful and it's going to be amazing.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Do you know I'm like the most like biggest, proudest mama bear over here right now because Shalina straight up blocked me like 3 times before joining me. Okay. She was like, I'm not doing what you're doing. Like, get away from me with your pyramid scheme. Okay. And then once she joined, she was like, listen, I'm gonna do it my way or the highway because she's me, right? She's like me. And then she was like, I'm not reading those books. And I'm like shoving it down her throat, just like she was talking about. And now she is such an incredible speaker. Shalina, girl, you just like blew it out of the house. I'm so stinking proud of you for getting on here and doing this. I know that this was scary for all of you who spoke, maybe not scary, but like nerve wracking, you know, and it still never gets easier for me till this day, you guys. This is just like a skill that you develop over time of doing this over and over and over again. But seriously, thank you ladies for sharing your heart with me and all of our team tonight. It was amazing. The last thing that I just wanted to say to wrap this up, I was like writing notes as Shalina's like preaching. I'm like, oh my gosh, this, oh my gosh, this, like there's so much stuff. But isn't that interesting though? Because all of us here that have shared have a different reason why we do this business. Okay, so maybe you're on here and you're listening and you're like, well, like I'm not a mom and they're all moms, or like maybe you know, maybe something didn't resonate with you tonight. And I just want you to understand that there are so many people out there that are successful in this business that um that like have different stories. And if you're feeling uninspired, like go to your leader and ask like, hey, who do you know that's single, going to college, or like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever you are, that we can direct you to somebody that you can relate to, because I believe that you need a tribe. And maybe it's a sideline sister, maybe it's, maybe it's an upline, maybe it's a downline, whatever that may be. When you're manifesting and when you're creating your garden, like Shalina just like blew my mind. When you're planting your garden and stuff, you have to be able to have an accountability partner. You guys, I would not be where I am today if I didn't have my team. Okay, I would not be where I am today if I didn't have people that I could go to when I was feeling down, because the reality of this is that this is still work. You know what I mean? Like we still have to put in work in our business. And there are days, just like when you go to work at your 9 to 5, there are days that are crappy and there are days that are good. You know what I mean? And it doesn't always have to be business focused. You know, today I had the best day. And then we put Huntley down at 7 p.m. and she literally woke up every half an hour on the dot. And I'm sitting here like, I've got Zooms, I've got to prepare for these, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And I found myself getting so frustrated, not at her, but just frustrated in general. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I've got to work and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And it's like, listen, Rochelle. Do you remember when you were going to school full time? And do you remember when you were also working over 50 hours a week? And now you're sitting in a fifth wheel toy hauler complaining because your baby's waking up every 30 minutes and I get to do this job. I get to stay up until 12 a.m. and pour into you guys. Like, it's all about your perspective. And I'll tell you what, about an hour ago when we started this, my mindset wasn't like, yeah, I got to pour into these girls. My mindset was like, some of you that were on the power hour before this, I was like, y'all, I got to take the next 20 minutes to like get myself in the game, because Huntley's been screaming. My brain is like on overload right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can have something happen in 15 minutes time that derails your whole day. It's what you do to turn it around. You know what I did? I put myself on mute while everybody was still working. And I played my favorite worship song right now. And I sat here and I was like, okay, I can do this. And I'm going to pour into all these girls and they need to hear what we have to say tonight. And you know what? What number are we on? 3? Drop a 3 in the chat if this was everything that you needed, because I needed it. I need to hear from you guys. I need to like, I don't know. I'm just feeling like so blessed and so proud of all of you ladies. So if you are brand new, I hope we didn't scare you off. I hope that you take what we said into consideration, because here's the last thing that I'll leave you with is, no matter if you're brand new or if you've been in this business for 3 years like I have, you have to have a mentor. You've got to have somebody that you look to and say, that's what I want. And you got to be willing. Okay, here's the secret. to all the success of this, you have to be willing to work as hard as that person. And you have to be willing to grow as much as that person. Because you may look at my success or Shalina's success or Sydney's success or anybody's success. You can look at all of our success and be like, well, she's got like the easiest life ever. But what you don't see is what we've gone through. You don't see the consistency every single day. You don't see the tears. You don't see the grit. You don't see the late nights. You don't see the catastrophic events that have happened in our life in these last 3 years. What heck, every single one of us, all 5 of us had a baby in 18 months. Almost everybody that spoke has had a baby in the last 18 months. And our business still blew the heck up. Yeah, Sydney has 2 in the last 18 months. I'm trying to get on that level someday. Hopefully Brian didn't hear that. Anyways, so so seriously though, it's all about like, life's gonna happen. Life's gonna keep happening, and we can put it off all day long. We can say that we're gonna start journaling tomorrow or on Monday because that's a great day to start, or we can say we're gonna start journaling tonight, or we can say that we're gonna take action and make sure that while we're all fired up right now, because if you're as fired up as I am, I'm about to like write 3 pages right now. Like if you are this fired up and if you're in a good mood, write your goals and dream big. Okay, dream big. Because here's the thing, the how doesn't matter, right? We talked about that in the beginning. It doesn't matter how you're going to get from here to here. That part we know. It's 6 things every day. It's a 6 list. It's 6 things in our business. We know how to work the business, y'all. But when you put belief in it, and when you put like when you decide that no matter what, that's going to happen. And one last thing, I keep saying that. Seriously though, one last thing is that when she said in the podcast, and I don't know if everybody's listened to this, so I'll kind of recap real quick. In the podcast, she said that when you achieve a big goal, like something that you've been manifesting, okay, when you achieve it, it actually seems easy. Okay, I don't know if you guys understood that. It actually seems easy when you achieve that goal. And I thought back to when we went triple and pres back to back, and presidential was not my goal, but I didn't realize that I had been manifesting it. I'd been manifesting it because I had been saying, this girl's going double. This girl's going double. This is going to change her whole life. She's going diamond. She's going diamond. Everybody's going diamond. And when they all went diamond, we went pres on accident. Not on accident. I mean, we were working our butt off, but like, it wasn't a goal, you guys. Triple was my goal. We went triple. We hit it at 50K in volume. Okay. This is what I want you guys to understand. 50,000 in volume is what you have to have for triple. Now get this, 100,000 in volume, double that is what you have to have for pres. And we did it in 1 month's time. I don't remember the last time we did 50K in a month, you guys. Some of us are looking at our charts right now and we're like, well, I'm like 3 grand away from diamond. I'm like 3K away. 3K away, you can do that in 3 days. You need to believe in yourself. You need to decide that you're going to do it and make it happen. And my point of that was that when we went back to back triple and pres, I remember looking back, and this is not cocky, you guys, this is the truth. I remember going, man, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. Now, it wasn't that it wasn't hard work, because it was hard work. Don't even get me started on how hard of work it was. But looking back, it happened so much easier because we were aligned with our goals. We were aligned with where we were going. And that is what manifesting is all about. So I know we've kept you guys, oh, what? It's not even midnight. JK, I thought it was way over midnight. But that is what manifesting is all about. And so I hope you guys got a lot out of this. And Kaitlin said in the chat, I'm looking at the chats real quick. Let me stop the recording. Hold on.